All right.
All right. Hey, hello there.
Hello.
Hello there. Welcome, boys and girls.
We're not going to do this the entire time.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
My name is Ember Knight. This is my friend Vera Drew. Say hello, Vera.
Hi, I'm Vera Drew. Wait, I'm not going to... You'll do an accent and I won't.
What accent? It's not an accent. It's a tribute.
This is, welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Jackass with Vera and Ember.
Or Ember and Vera. I'm fine
Or
with
Ember
your name.
and Vera.
I'm fine.
Let's have the first episode be us offering the other person the first credit listing. No, let's not. It'll alternate each episode.
Ooh, I like that actually, because
You can take the trophy home this year. I'll take it next year.
really matches the vibe that we've created here for this.
Are you okay? Are your feelings all right? So as you might have guessed, this podcast has a little bit to do with the hit TV series Jackass.
That's why it's called Welcome to Jackass, which is something they...
It's what the Americans call a cheeky bloke.
On the show, as most of you know, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably a Jackass fan. At the beginning of the show, Johnny Knoxville will say, "I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass," and then we'll get like kicked in the bum or something.
In the boom boom hole.
So that's where the name comes from.
Vera thinks the name is confusing, so if you're wondering, that's where the name comes from. But we're calling it Welcome to Jackass because we're diving into Jackass with bright new eyes. We're welcoming ourselves to Jackass, a big, warm helping of Jackass.
What is your relationship to the show? I mean, I know, but I'm pretending like I don't so that the viewers at home can get to know us a little bit more. What's your relationship to Jackass?
Well, Vera, I got to tell you about my first time. My first time was later in life than most people. Mm-hmm. People told me that I would like Jackass when I was growing up, and I said, no, I won't. I had seen one of the movies when it first came out. I was young, and I remember thinking, oh, no, not for me. But I liked the old men bit. I like when they dress up as old men.
Yeah.
That part I quite fancied. So it was actually years later, and people kept saying, Ember, you're turning into a person who's clearly a Jackass fan. And I said, no. So it wasn't until actually, I think last summer, actually, not so long ago, my partner Bobby said hello.
Yeah, he's too far from the mic.
Bobby's producing. He's got his own mic. But he actually had the whole box set. And so he sat me down. He said, we're going to watch it. So
I guess I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you told me this.
I sort of naturally emulated the spirit of Jackass for years in my work before I'd ever seen Jackass.
That's what's weird because I'd say especially it's interesting that this would have been maybe last year. You said that you really started to get into it, like...
Bit of Guinness.
It's American Guinness. I like Guinness because it's like drinking an entire loaf of bread.
Bit of brekkie. Bit of bread.
Your movies are very much... I mean, they're not like Jackass, but they're out in the real world. You're out in the streets. It's in the
spirit, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's interesting that you weren't influenced.
It's true, and I think I actually would have been more probably bolder in my stage work and in my films as well if I'd known that there was a precedent, because right. I thought I was just being rude. And there's definitely that argument as well. I was being rude, being a bit of a cheeky bloke. But that to say, that there was actually an era in the early 2000s on MTV and in other parts of culture that really emulated those things, and it's still alive in skate culture very much, I think. And in some parts of YouTube, they're not related to skate, but I didn't know, so yeah, I was late to the game. What about you?
I watched the show when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to because I wasn't even allowed to watch MTV. I wasn't allowed to watch like anything. But for some reason, my parents were just always watching Seinfeld. Like I grew up on Seinfeld, which is a fine show to grow up. I mean, like I feel like that, like there's worse show, but it's just funny because like a show that has like half-hour episodes about masturbation, I was allowed to watch, but I wasn't allowed to watch. Just friends hanging out, slapping each other's in the dicks.
Well, that would be healthy.
Right. Yeah. So, and in my house, things that weren't healthy were encouraged. But we can get into that later.
Guinness.
I was really into it as a kid, I think, because it was an excuse to see like boys with their shirts off, like buddying around. You know what I mean? And it's at that time it was a very no homo culture.
Vera, were you a poofter?
I was a bit of a poof. I'm a bit of a poof now. I've circled back because now I think I'm gay again.
I sound the alarms. We got a poofter on our hands.
In post, add like
a
sirens.
halo. It's an angel.
Add an angel halo around me, and add sirens like the mermaids is what I meant.
Yeah.
Cut that. Or don't. I'm never gonna watch.
So wait, but
yeah.
Okay, so you weren't allowed to watch it, but you did watch it. How'd you get it? How'd you get your
I
hands on it?
I was very quick. I was very quick with the remote control. So anytime my parents weren't home,
You were slick about it. You were quick.
yeah. So like after school, like I was usually alone for like 3 hours, and I would watch Jerry Springer, Jackass, and usually SNL or like Conan reruns.
And here is the woman you have before you today.
It all makes sense. It really does. I was also I think I was slightly more into Wild Boys just because, as many of you will learn, I am very sexually. I just burped. I don't want to burp towards you.
Oh yeah, burp away from me.
Sexually attracted to Chris Pontius.
Yeah. So Steve-O. So are many people.
You think Steve-O's?
No, but he did kiss his dick. He kissed him right on the rod. Okay. He smoked the pole. It's hidden it's lost footage, but it did happen. He had a crisis about being gay.
Okay.
I read it in his autobiography, so he's open about it. But he did kiss Pontius's penile gland.
I'd pay $50,000 to kiss Chris Pontius on the dick.
Hopefully the footage emerges here at some time. We'll get our hands on it. No one's ever seen it. And then we'll get footage of Vera reenacting.
Yeah.
With Chris.
He's just seems like he seems like a nice guy. I think he's really, he's, in the early, we saw a bit tonight where he was a little bit younger looking. He's very cute then. But then, like there's other times where it's like, yeah, he's like he looks like a real man. And
not the time in the floral bikini.
Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. Is like the third level, and this appeals to my queer attraction. Like whenever he's like in any sort of like femme outfit, I'm like that's the most attractive to.
Okay, so that's what it is.
I fetishize. I'm like autogynephilic when it comes, not as a trans woman. I had gender dysphoria and I started transitioning, and that was to hit as far as he is concerned, I fetishize his body when it is in like a feminine state.
Well, he seems very free with his sexuality and his sexual expression.
Yeah, and I have a lot of issues with my freedom. Which it's just because I just don't really do it anymore. I just kind of retired from it.
I think that's probably the appeal of Jackass across the board, and it's very special that you have that this additional angle of freedom. And I actually think that probably a lot of people felt this watching the show. Is there was a lot of homoeroticism and strange behavior, but behavior that I think made a lot of people feel free because it was safe and it was funny.
I would be really curious, like if you're a queer person watching this, and I'd be curious to know if that was other people's experience, because I also think, I'm 31. Like, I remember a time where, now, I say faggot all the time. I'm probably going to say it a bunch on this show. And I also say that's so gay, but I usually mean it, in a positive way. But like, I remember a time where like it was totally cool just to call people faggots and like.
You're gonna love the feedback we get on this show.
Oh, whatever. Fucking just unfollow us. Don't get in my mentions. Like if you have notes, just don't give them to me. I'm not gonna take them anyway.
I'll read them on the air.
There weren't a lot of outlets for fucking young queer people,
Yeah.
and I think like MTV was actually like a pretty good place for that, and I think I think the bits we watched tonight kind of highlight that, but we can get into that.
Sure.
Later.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's like, of the things made by straight white men, this was the queerest.
Yeah, and they never. It was. I mean, like, I'm sure we're gonna come across one skit where they maybe say something that would be problematic or like homophobic or whatever now, but like generally speaking, it's like a celebration of like men touching each other and slapping each other and like kissing each other's dicks, and like I don't know, like that's
I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have from the outside, that I had from the outside, is that it was about manliness, because that kind of came up later in culture, this idea of like, oh, who can eat the most bacon, who can eat the most burgers, who's the biggest man, and it was like ironic, but it was not fun.
Which show was that?
That's just general. I mean, that's YouTube culture. That's just kind of what came later. You know, is this idea of like, what's the most manly is to be mean, and this show might seem like that from the outside. Like I had a conversation with a friend a few months ago about liking Jackass, and she was like, oh, I bet it's really racist and really sexist now. And I thought about it. I was like, no, it's really not. Why would you think that?
It's because it's just a bunch of dumb white guys like hanging out. So like, and now generally speaking, when like, you know, dumb white guys hang out, bad stuff
I mean, yeah,
happens.
no, to be fair,
But no, I mean, like, I think that's partially, I think, why we're doing this show. I mean, like, I don't want it to be like, hey, Jackass is for people, but
it's for us too.
Yeah. Hey, what about us?
It's for us too.
What
You
about
can't leave
the
us
queers?
out. Let us in. Mom said I could hang.
But I mean, like, it kind of is that because, like, I really don't. I don't see. I mean, like, I definitely don't see like trans or gender nonconforming people talking about Jackass with any regularity.
I just think it's time to say what everyone's been thinking, which is that this is a genius piece of television and cinema culture that deserves to be revisited with fresh eyes of today.
And I think it deserves the acknowledgement that it shaped, like, not even just comedy, not even just prank comedy. Like, there's obvious stuff like Eric Andre's show and LAG show and all that shit. But like, I think in general, it really kind of shaped culture and like media landscape in a way that has not been discussed. So really, we're breaking new ground here as usual.
Should we get into the sketches?
I would love that.
So Vera and I watched, before the show started, Vera and I watched 5 or 6 sketches from the Jackass show, and we're going to talk about our favorites.
Yes.
What was your favorite sketch?
Oh, my favorite was honestly... I didn't pick a favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
What was your favorite?
Honestly, it was Bam. It was the first one.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that's the most fun one for me. Just because, like, I like watching anything with Bam's parents because they're just, like, their reactions are so perfect.
Yeah. I'm gonna let the accent come and go as it pleases.
I mean...
just so you know. I can't control it. It'll come.
I mean, like, I think people were, like, up until that point, people were probably pretty convinced it was real. So.
That was my American impression just now.
No, whenever British people use American accents, they all sound like John Wayne.
That's true. They're like, yippee-ki-yay.
I would like a cheeseburger.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I think that was probably my favorite of the. I think we should just talk about all 6. Just
okay, all right, yeah. Well, I have lots to say, but okay. So just to let you know, if you haven't seen it, this sketch, I think it's called "Bam Kicks Phil's Ass All Day."
Yes.
And it's Bam starts it out. He's got his little camera and he's like, I'm Bam Margera, and I feel like kicking my dad's ass all day. And that's what it is. It's a montage of him busting in on his dad, Phil, and punching him and doing flips where he kicks him in the face and throwing newspaper at him. He's not hitting him that hard.
No, he's
just being
slapping.
really annoying.
But he's the second time when he bursts in, he's slapping him with such speed that it probably really did actually hurt.
But the first time he's just like,
yeah, no.
And his dad's like, hey.
But Bam's. I mean, like Bam's kind of a fucking pussy. like Bam. I love Bam Margera so much.
So much.
And like, you know, I doubt he's ever gonna watch this. But if you want to be on the show,
I beg him to watch this.
Dr. Phil too, because that was a really good interview. He would be a great guest too.
Oh, he'd be a great guest. Dr. Phil, if you're watching this.
But I think, like, I don't know, like, it's also, I think with Phil, it's always, it's the element of surprise, because it's so weird because he never sees it coming, but he's literally been getting his ass kicked all day.
It's so hard to tell if Bam's parents are genius actors or just the perfect people. I mean, I guess they're just the perfect people, but the way they roll with the punches.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I think she plays it up. I think Phil recognizes that, like, his son's making money. Yeah. And is just game for it, but, like, it seems like genuine, like, this is a woman, the somersault kick. Because there's one point where it's after, I think, all the slapping.
That's what I wrote, too. I wrote dad flip.
It's so, he, like, comes down really hard on him, and the noise that Phil lets out is real. Like I don't know, at least this bit it didn't really feel that staged to me.
There's something about the way that Bam attacks his parents. There's really an artistry to it. It's hilarious instantly. The moment it starts happening, it's so funny. You're never concerned about them because it's not very hard. It's just like annoying. Like when we were watching it, I think I commented like, this is what my kitten does. Like when I'm trying to sleep or like masturbate or like write something on my computer, like my kitten pretty much Bam Margera is me, and just like bats and jumps and bites, and it's just like. Is he that crazy? He's crazy. Because like whenever I've only seen him like when he's been outside and he's always been scared. He's like Flubber. He's literally like Flubber. Oh, that's kind of cool though. I mean, it's suitable, and it's like also just like the fact that you both share the same name. I know, I deserve it. For all the years that I dressed up as a little orange cat and Bam Margera everyone in Los Angeles. Yeah, you really, this is your penance. I really brought it on myself. Penance. It's a cute way to do penance. Yeah. He's gotten big. And then maybe we show a picture of him here, or like he could even be behind us. We could actually just put a bunch of footage of Junior into the pod. Really, we should just be, the pod should just be Junior, because he's more interesting than either of us. Vote in the comments if you want to see my kitten. He's a fat little fucker. My cat's getting fat too. She's not crazy, but she's like completely nocturnal now. It's so frustrating because she sleeps all day and then she just runs around the house all night. Yeah. And she's so cuddle. Like during the day, she'll like lay on the bed and she'll like look up at me like wanting to cuddle. Right. And it's like, just do this at night. No. But that's not Jackass, so. It is, but you know what? These concepts touch our lives in varied ways. Yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to say in the beginning. The movies were very important to me when I was a kid. Oh yeah? I think because they were always on Comedy Central's Secret Stash, which was like the uncut. Like, I mean, they would say it was uncut, but they would always censor out like nudity, and I don't think they said fuck on it ever. But it was like always. I don't know, like it always just felt like a really special thing. Because like, again, I was like, I was very, like what I watched, what like was like, I was heavily monitored when I was a kid. And I just have really fond memories of staying up late watching those movies. And I think the movies are better than the show. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Yeah. Although going through it very piecemeal like this, I find I enjoy the show more than like binging it. Yeah. It's very enjoyable to just examine little bit at a time, like salt.
Yeah, because I mean, like that's so. This just this actually segues perfectly into probably what is my favorite bit that we watched. It was, I don't know that it had a name, but it basically involved Johnny Knoxville pretending to be a funeral director, and there was a guy in a casket in a hearse, and he would drive around and then park, and then we'd open the back, the casket would slide out, and the body would fall out. And it was like, it's so, like, I think what I really love about this show is, like, in a world where, like, this kind of comedy now is, like, really edited and stylized, and, like, it's always, like, really focused on the reaction shots. You're just, like, watching this shit happen pretty much in real time most of the time. And I think that's, like, what's so much more special about Jackass is, like,
Oh, yeah.
it really just feels like, I think the reality is, like, the stakes feel high because, like, you're just watching, like, a master shot of them being idiots, and they do it 4 times, and every time it's
funny.
It's funny. It's every time it's funny, and yeah.
It's such a Knoxville bit because it's, like, so clearly something that he would picture, like, fucking, you know, it's a silent movie bit.
Buster Keaton.
It's a Buster Keaton gag, you know. He probably saw it in an old movie and was like, let's go do this in the street.
I feel like most of his ideas come from like Looney Tunes or those
like
movies or like
Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah. Because it's like always just, well, actually, like, I don't know, like, if Pontius ever comes, I can imagine Pontius being more of the Looney Tunes guy, because, like, usually his are like getting slingshotted or like.
I don't see Pontius as a cultured person.
You think Looney Tunes is cultured?
Yeah.
I think we should, like, I think we're both equally white trash. But that's making me wonder if you slightly have me beat.
Yeah, it's
like, we're different types of white trash too. Like, I'm a very specific, like, Midwestern type that thinks like coleslaw's like a delicacy.
Okay, all right.
It's good food.
I did grow up in a trailer, so I guess, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Oh, no. Well, in our family, we say mobile home estate.
I see.
In London. I'm just going to drop it right now. I read Steve-O's autobiography, like, last week, and he grew up in London. And his dad was, like, president of, like, Nabisco or some shit.
Does his dad...
Why
doesn't he have an accent?
Because he's embarrassed. Probably.
Did he change it? Or, like...
I don't know.
You read the book. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, he didn't mention it.
Oh.
They moved around a lot when he was younger. Like, they lived in Canada and they lived in other countries. But he went to high school in London, and he was a skater in London.
That's so cool.
So you'd think he probably did at a time.
He like, has lived 20 different lives in one life. I mean, that's most addicts, but, like, he's just, like, that alone that's incredible.
It's really weird.
The other bit I really liked is the prostitute boat race, and you know, nowadays we would probably say sex worker boat race.
All right, tell us what you loved about this bit.
The first thing I loved about this bit, I'd say the main thing I loved about this bit was it featured Chris Pontius. A young Chris Pontius. His hair was bleached.
That's why you like it.
His hair was, like, it was like, it took me back, and he had a fucking soul patch. He looked like the lead singer of Smash Mouth. And that was a treat that I didn't know I was getting tonight, and I'm glad I got it. So that was my favorite part of it. But the bit's really simple. It's just Knoxville and Pontius.
Yeah.
Hire 4 sex workers to get into paddle boats in the red light district.
They're each paid $200,
which is a lot of.
It's good. It's good.
That's
money.
good. Yeah, that's good. And they just race through the canal, and that's it. They're just racing. It's just sex workers racing, and, like, I think I think what I really like about that is like it's not like shaming them. It's not like, oh, look at these like slutty, like it's just fun.
It's just fun.
It's just fun,
Yeah.
sexy women riding a paddle boat.
Yeah. While Johnny Knoxville and Chris Pontius scream through megaphones at each other and at everyone else trying to have a family outing on the canal.
But you know, if you take your family to, because I didn't
Amsterdam,
yeah,
sure, yeah,
like,
yeah.
have you ever been?
No. No.
I wish. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, who knows? Like, in a post-COVID world, if it'll be, I bet it'll still be. It's probably, you could probably go there right now.
Right now.
And it would.
And paddle boat race with any prostitutes you want.
But we live
Sex
in this.
workers.
We live in the States.
In the States.
Like a couple bloody cunts.
Bum, bum.
Yeah. So that was my other favorite.
Yeah. Did I have another favorite? Oh. Okay, so speaking of sex workers, there's a bit in which Preston visits a couple of dominatrices, they tell him to say. Don't know if that's correct. Yeah, and they spank him, and his safe word is Oklahoma, and he says it many times, and he says it at the end, he says it softly like 6 times in a row.
And they're not even hitting him anymore.
He's just standing there, he's like, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
He's someone that I also can't figure out if he's playing things up, or if he's like, because they're not hitting him. I mean, granted, like, I would pay somebody to do that to me.
Sure.
And I would have a safe word, because you should have a safe word. You should have your limits if you're practicing kink. But
It's just clearly not Preston's thing.
I guess, but even then, like, even if it's like, they weren't hitting him that hard.
Sure.
And he was being a complete baby about it and just screaming his Preston scream. And I don't think do you think he plays it up at all? Or?
I really don't. I really don't think he plays it up at all. I think he is an extremely earnest member of the cast. I have no idea why he wanted to be on Jackass, because he's not cut out for it in any way, and that's why it's so perfect that he's there. But every time he does something, he gets so hurt and he looks so upset. Every time.
It's his are honestly kind of the hardest to watch for that reason.
Yeah.
Because it is just like watching like a giant baby get like beat.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Really hurt. Yeah.
Didn't you tell me it sounds like it sounds like I'm on a talk show right now, but
Did you tell me in the dressing room?
A funny story
Yeah,
though
I
about
did.
his audition?
I did. Bobby told me this one, actually. Bobby doesn't have his mic right now, though, so
Bobby McCoy is our producer.
I'll tell it on Bobby's behalf. Yeah, I'll tell you the story. So, I guess when Preston auditioned for Jackass, because they had auditions, it was Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine directing, and Spike, I guess, producing or co-directing.
So he was there for like the early stages of it?
Yeah.
Oh.
He would kind of help them get the deal.
I didn't know that.
Because he skates too.
I did know that.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, we're gonna bring this cool thing. But yeah, so they auditioned. So they had those 3, and then they were teaming up with Bam and his crew, with Ryan Dunn, and I don't remember if there was another person who came along. But then they held auditions for Freaks. Steve-O did not audition, or he did, but he already knew them because he was just the most annoying person in the world. And it just, like, anytime he heard that, like, Big Brother magazine was coming to town, he would just be so annoying and, like, get in their car and then, like, do flips on fire.
But it's also just, like, of course he was supposed to be on Jackass.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely, yeah.
But Preston,
they
they were just trying to fill out a few spare spots. Yeah, Preston makes the least sense. So he just showed up at the audition. He's this big guy that he has no skills. They're like, do you skate? No. Do you do stunts? No. They were like, well, those are the things. So goodbye. And there was a fruit bowl in the audition room. And as a Hail Mary, he grabbed an entire bunch of bananas, and he just ate them all really fast, staring at the auditioners. He just ate the whole bunch of bananas with the peels and everything. I probably puked, but they were like, oh yeah, that's that guy.
That's
a flavor we actually do need. Yeah, that was good to watch.
That's so crazy because like I also don't really think of him as like a food guy as much on the show.
No.
Like he's more of like gets beat up by like sex workers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure he was in horrible pain. I'm sure he puked them up and was very upset.
Yeah, bananas are like, that's pretty heavy. Like I had a banana and peanut butter sandwich today.
That's a whole meal.
I couldn't even finish it.
Yeah.
It was too I mean, I did finish it just to not waste it, but it was
but you didn't have to. You didn't have to. Yeah. But you did.
I was full.
That's a little bit of jackass in your life.
Yeah.
Bit of a jackass moment in your life.
Hashtag jackass moments. Can I tell you a bit I didn't like?
Yeah.
We watched a bit called Street Fishing.
Oh yeah.
That Steve-O was in, and it was $1. He had a fishing line and $1 attached to the fishing line, and basically just was luring people who are homeless with it, and then like, you know, reeling in the line. And our producer Bobby McCoy said
that he loved it and he thinks it's funny.
Yeah, he thinks homeless people should be used for that sort of thing.
And not paid.
And we sat here
crying,
sobbing. This is the guy we're working with.
Vera was sobbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't cry that often.
No.
Because I'm kind of emotionally shut off.
This was the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I get why it's supposed to be funny, because when he first starts reeling it in, you can't see the fishing line because it's so thin, so it does look like the breeze. And so it's getting people to run after it. It's supposed to be funny, and then they see that he's got the fishing pole. But the real cincher is that in Steve-O's autobiography, he does confess that it was he originally called it bum fishing. So it was, in fact, targeting people experiencing homelessness. So
yeah,
we're going to give you an F on that one, Steve-O.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've done things comedically that I regret.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any? Like, I'm not pimping you, but do you have one that you'd be comfortable sharing?
No.
Yeah. I don't either. Like, because I have some.
I'd be comfortable sharing.
I have plenty in my brain.
Yeah.
But I don't want it. Well, one of them, a bit.
Well,
actually,
now that you mention it,
a bit that I did used to do on stage has ended up in my film, The People's Joker. That is it's a Holocaust joke, which I should not.
It's hardly a Holocaust joke. It's not making fun of the Holocaust. It just references the Holocaust.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not my place. I mean, like,
sure,
a lot of queer people were killed during the Holocaust. But, like, you know, like, it's also, like, I feel like, I'm like, when I look back on doing that specific joke, I wonder if I was almost kind of, like, baiting people. Because people used to assume that I was Jewish all the time for, like, anti-Semitic, like, purely anti-Semitic reasons. Like, because of how my nose looks.
Because you're so rich.
And because of how neurotic I am and like my curly hair and stuff. So I was often, people would be anti-Semitic towards me. And it was always uncomfortable because it'd be like, okay, you shouldn't say that, A, and also I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I was doing that joke as a way of like kind of like baiting, like whatever the Jewish equivalent of queer baiting is.
Well, and I also think in that time, not to get meta with it, but I think that we were all baiting everyone with these topics that we were trying to neutralize them. I don't know so much actually that it was about like trying to say stuff that's edgy for attention. Like we were trying to bring stuff up and like neutralize an uncomfortable topic through humor. And you know, we've evolved as a culture and we do that differently now. But, you know, at the time that was how you did it. Yeah.
I wonder if it, I mean, like, I wonder if like comedy's going to kind of circle back to a place like that, because everybody's kind of fed up with like woke shit. I mean, not everybody's fed up with woke shit, but a lot of people are, like, specifically like a lot of leftists are like completely over this, like rating everything on a scale of like, is this good or bad or offensive or whatever.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good things to take out of that, but you kind of have to, you know.
At the end of the day, it's like, is it hurting somebody? Because words do matter, and like, I think they carry weight, but like at the end of the day, like, is it actually hurting somebody? I mean, that's why I say the word faggot all the time. I've had other trans people tell me I should not be saying it, especially since, like, I don't know, like, thinking that, like, because now I'm out as a trans woman, I also shouldn't say it, which is, like, I've been called faggot within the last 2 months.
Sure, yeah.
I've been out for 2 years, but I've been called faggot very recently, so I think I can use that word to try to disarm it, or at least semi-reclaim it for myself.
It's difficult. Yeah, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and we're trying to get to a good feeling, and I think ultimately that's really what it is, you know?
Yeah. I tell you what, though, I definitely don't miss, like, going to comedy clubs and seeing, like, white people. I mean, I don't miss going to comedy clubs, period.
No.
Especially, like, doing open mics and shit, but, like hopefully stand-up just doesn't exist after COVID.
It's done. Give it a round of applause. It's done.
Yeah, you had your run, Seinfeld. But if you want to come on the show, who are these guys?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if he's invited. All of that, yeah. To be fair, I think Steve-O went out of his way in that book because he went through AA and is sober now. I think he went out of his way to say every single fucked up thing that he did, because it is very entertaining and it is good reading material, but he wanted to come clean. So I think in saying that, it was very much him being like that was a bad move.
Yeah. I definitely don't think if you talk to him today he would be like, yeah, that was,
I love to fish for bums.
Yeah. I think what he would say is still funny is another bit we watched, which was him diving into a pool of elephant shit.
Yeah. So that was the last bit we watched.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what was my favorite part of that bit?
What?
Is the way that Chris Pontius stepped in and saved his bro, because it was a bad bit.
Yeah.
Steve-O goes up a ladder, and then he does a flip into a pile of elephant shit in a kiddie pool, and he does it many times, and it's really not funny any of the times. And then at a certain point, Chris Pontius, who's wearing a flowery bikini and some Playboy bunny ears, just jumps in and starts wrestling him, and then they start throwing each other in the poo, and then they take a very cute shower together.
Yeah. It ends with them taking a shower together.
They're very cute together, aren't they?
It's really sweet.
It's a good friendship.
I wish, like, when I was, like, pretending to be a boy, that, like, I had, like, my other, like, friends that were boys were, like, that we did stuff like that.
I think that part of what made the show good is there are these moments of idolized friendship. Like, I wish I had a friend that way who would have my back and who would encourage me to do something stupid. And if I looked stupid doing it, they wouldn't be like, fail. They would, like, step in and engage with me and, like, make it fun.
I try to do, because you will often
step right in the elephant shit.
You'll often text me and say something that's like, I mean, the cat was the perfect example of, like, you sent me a picture of an adorable cat and we're basically like, I shouldn't get this cat. And it's like, I mean, you probably shouldn't, because we're poor, you're poor and it's a pandemic.
True.
But, like, you absolutely should get this cat. So, like, I want you to know that I want to be that for you.
And I want to be that for you too.
So that's the real point. We've been looking for this our whole lives, and we finally found it.
Everyone's trying to be stylish. Everyone's trying to look cool. You know what's cool is when a few people agree and support each other. It looks dumb at first, but then when your friends step in and they help you out and they help you shine, then suddenly whatever is happening between you is cool. It is that thing that you think of as cool. Cool doesn't exist, but it's socially supported and it's fun and it's a positive vibe. It's a positive feeling.
Yeah, I'm so sick of being. I'm so sick of everything just being negative.
Yeah.
I'm, like, really trying to also make a conscious effort lately to not, like, I mean, because there's a lot to complain about, specifically on the, I'm very active on Twitter, Vera Drew 22, Ember Saves, at Ember Saves. But I've been really trying to make an active effort of not just, like, regurgitating the negative shit that keeps coming up in my head. I mean, like, I've been actually kind of good at it lately.
Yeah.
But just because it's, like, I don't know, there's something, like, we've lived in such, I mean, like, this is such a loaded word, but culture's just been so fucking toxic, like, this last decade. And, like, it really is punk rock just to be nice and have a good, healthy friendship.
That's right, kids. It's punk rock to be home in bed at 8, to be nice to your mum and dad, and to eat all your sprouts.
What exactly is a sprout, though?
I just thought that would, like, I was looking for a funny, like, British-sounding vegetable word.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
But sprouts is just sprouted.
You could have.
It's just sprouts.
Eat all your bangers and mash.
There we go. That's the one.
Eat your tripe.
I thought you were gonna, when you said you sent me a picture of your cat, I thought you were gonna say I sent you a picture of my cat's balls and that it was really cringy, but you were nice to me. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Okay. Ember did just send me a picture of their cat's balls.
We had been discussing it.
We were discussing how, like, just one day your cat suddenly had balls.
He had balls.
Because he didn't when before, because he was a baby cat.
It's magical.
And then one day he just had big cat balls. And I didn't say, in my head, I think I said, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
But I think you could tell, because we're such good friends, you
Yeah.
could tell that I wanted to see it. And you said, when I get my phone
picture,
fixed,
yeah.
would you like me to send that picture? And I said, yes, I would like that.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later,
Ba-boom.
and I'd forgotten. So I just got a picture of a cat's balls, and there they were. And it did catch me off guard at first, but there was no part of me. I was appreciative of it. To me, that was my friend, my best friend, making good on a promise.
I'm glad it wasn't an elephant poop moment.
Oh, yeah, no, not that at all.
You know what they look like?
What?
They look like little craft poofs. Little poofy that you would like glue, like little kids would glue to a piece of paper. Little poofy balls.
Don't tell him that, because I'm sure he probably thinks those things are huge and so masculine. He's strutting around your house, dick swinging.
He is. He tries to get in fights with the other cats. Our roommate has grown-up cats, and he tries to kick their asses. He gets in a fight like every day now. He's bonkers. I'm
glad he's around, though.
Yeah, he's great.
And I'm glad I got to see his balls.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll put him on the Patreon.
Yeah, well,
if you want to see him too.
The picture. I thought you meant you were just gonna put Junior up for sale.
No,
on Patreon.
just a picture of his nuts.
Yeah.
I'll put other pictures of him up if you want it. Or no pictures if you would prefer that.
No, I think we should.
I think we're going to put the balls.
I think we should put pictures of...
We are.
It's just nature. It's not pornographic. It's just a kitty's balls,
They're going to be gone soon.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think we did talk about all of this.
Was that all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I forgot to say about the casket one?
What's that?
I wrote down OOOs. Because Johnny Knoxville, he has this amazing talent for what comes out of his fucking mouth when they're doing these street stunts. Everything that comes out of his mouth is pure gold. So when the thing is slowly sliding out, he's like, oh, 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 oh. Ah, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like he's fucking Bugs Bunny, like pretending to have a stubbed toe or something.
It's weird though, because I wouldn't say he's half-assing it. Like he's committing to it, but it's not convincing at all.
Oh no, it's very heightened.
Yeah.
It's heightened.
As an onlooker, I don't think there's any part of you that's, I would assume, like if I saw that, like the casket thing, I would just think, oh, that's just a weird looking dude who owns a funeral home.
Yeah.
That is eccentric.
Oh, he's also wearing like a very oversized suit that is fitting like, it looks like he got Avril Lavigne's suit from the cover of Let Go. Like he's wearing this fucking...
I hate that I'm, like, the moment you
exactly
said that, it just, like, popped into my brain.
That's the suit he's wearing. It's like all baggy in the pants. Like...
Is this a pro Avril Lavigne podcast?
Oh yeah, it's very pro Avril Lavigne. All three of us. Bobby took a couple of years to come around, but it's all of us now.
I think she got such a bad, like
such
unfair.
A bad deal. Such a bad deal.
She's stupid. Like dumb. She's like a dumb person. Like if you listen to her.
Her brain might have been wiped by the CIA or something. I don't know.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Could be anything because that first record is flawless.
So
It's
good.
flawless.
It's
So,
good. But that's
I
just
don't
a
know.
lot of people, you know. Like I
Is it?
worry about that all the time. That it's like, are my first like 4 things that like people finally see if they ever finally see them. Like, will that be it then? Like, will I, will I be, reach superstar status and be a one-hit wonder?
I think that's a common anxiety in artists, and I think eventually it usually is true, but I think the incredibly stark difference between her first record and then everything else that happened is it's a little sus.
But I think that is probably management. That's probably,
maybe.
and like, I think like the pressure on female like musicians at that time, like Gwen Stefani was like the biggest. Like I think like somebody probably gave her that note, like, oh, you got to be more poppy. And I mean, because she was never punk. I mean, she was like pop punk.
Yeah.
That was always what was so annoying about her, about that too, because like people would always say like, she's not punk. It's like she's pop punk. Like
Yeah.
like Green Day calls themselves punk and nobody rips them apart.
All they do is make melodic music. Yeah.
Fucking criminy.
It's true. It's true. It's unfair for her. But I think history will be kind to that record and sympathetic. That's really what this podcast is about. It's about looking back and looking forward at the same time and going, let's look at that good stuff. Let's learn from the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And we're probably going to watch. So I think what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm so burpy. I'm not used to drinking Red Bull.
Should have had a cup of tea, mate.
I think what we're going to do is kind of this, where we watch, like a couple bits, and then we're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to do the movies. And we also are going to be having on some guests.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any of them because like they might back out, but
Because they're too fucking famous.
big names though.
They're
Like
too fucking famous for you to handle, mate.
yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to like. I don't want people to. I don't want to like sell the show too hard.
Oh, yeah. Lower those expectations.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, do we want to do a Jackass dare this week?
Oh, okay.
Because we didn't pick one.
Vera, I jackass dare you to burp in my face.
To what?
To burp in my face.
I don't know if I can muster a burp.
You've been burping all night.
I can't. I'll just like breathe on you.
Try to burp.
I'll get a soda.
This is a feature of the show called the Jackass Dare. There's not actually any dares in Jackass, but it has kind of a dare vibe. It's sort of people daring themselves to do things. So we thought it would be fun to have a feature called Jackass Dare, where we jackass dare each other.
I'm already burping. So actually,
Lay it on me.
something. I mean, I probably shouldn't say this just because I think it is like a insider secret.
I'm gonna
But
breathe in when you do it.
but one of the whenever. Well, no, I'm just not gonna say it.
Just. Well, no, now you have to say it.
So whenever we shoot with Liba Hart,
Oh no.
because Liba Hart loves Dr. Pepper,
Oh no.
we have him finish off a can of Dr. Pepper to get him a little extra burpy.
Okay. This is gonna become a real burpee show. All right, let's do it. Ready?
I'm worried I'm just gonna puke on you.
That would be better. That was a burp? Oh, I just smell it. It was a burp. It smelled like Dr. Pepper.
I love you.
And that was the Jackass Dare.
I feel like really vulnerable right now.
Oh, I thought of one other good thing that we could do on the show as a recurring.
Okay.
Which one of these, for us to say which one of these sketches we would personally do.
Oh, okay. You go first. Do you have one?
Uh...
Well, no, I can go
Oh,
first.
I got. Oh, yeah, you know. Well, yeah.
I would, I would like 2 women to to slap
Yeah.
me around. I think that I would.
Wait, which one? The dominatrix
Yeah,
one.
the
The
dominatrix bit
one.
with Preston. I would not be shouting Oklahoma. I might be singing Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. All right. I think, I want to say the Hearst one because it's, so classy or what have you. But I think it would be actually the Bam one. I feel like I would go into my friend's room or my family member's room and just start slapping them and punching them and just follow them around all day, and they would not think it was funny, and I would be filming it, and then I would want to show it to everyone. I think that's the one that's probably the closest to my reality.
Like there was a point in your art where that would have been something.
It basically did happen. It might have been the thing that happened.
Yeah.
Actually, the biggest mistake I made when I was being rude, and what I learned from Jackass, and it's so sad that I watched Jackass late in life, is I didn't film it. I did so many horrible things to people in comedy shows, and I sabotaged comedy shows, and I waged war against certain improv shows. And if I had just one person with a camera, footage would all make sense and be golden.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for you, but I think we both are very afraid of cancellation.
Sure.
I mean, it's probably good that that's all just flash in the,
It was pretty funny.
I got another one on deck if you want to go again.
I think that's our show.
It's gone.
I think that's our show.
It went back inside me. It's so weird.
It's going to be a fart.
Some burps just need to come out.
Yeah.
And then some go back inside you. Where do they go? Do they come out as farts?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah.
And then what about farts that you hold in?
That I worry about. That one I worry about. Because you kind of feel it go back into your organs, and you're like, how far is it going to go up? It's air. It's got to go up.
Yeah. And then it's just
But it's already touched your poop particles in your ass.
Yeah, so that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, they're just going to come up the throat.
And then it's just going to stink inside my body.
I think the stomach acid and everything would burn all of that out.
I'd hope
We're doctors.
I hope God would have designed our bodies in a way that we wouldn't poison ourselves with the farts and the burps that go back inside of our body.
Wouldn't you hope it to be true?
Well, thank you guys so much for watching.
This is our first episode, so let us know in the comments what you like, that's it. Just tell us what you do.
Yeah, don't give us any negative feedback because we won't.
Because we will read it in the next episode live, and we'll discuss it in depth.
Yeah, but we won't take the note. No, we will just publicly humiliate you. So, if that's your thing, if you want to be publicly humiliated, then totally give us notes, and we will rip you apart in the next episode.
When I was 12, I loved this joke metal album called Crotch Duster Big Fat Box of Shit. And it's really great. It doesn't hold up at all. It's very homophobic. It's very sexist, just horrifically sexist, a little bit racist even.
Oh, no.
But it's fast sketch metal.
Oh wow!
And the last track is them reading fan mail, but it's clearly pretty fake fan mail. Or actually, might have been real. But it's just a track with a little bit elevator-y music behind it, and they just read the mail and they respond to it. And it was really inspirational. It was very sexist. They were very mean to their female fans, but it was inspirational.
Yeah, I think we'll be mean. I mean, we'll be mean to both. I almost said both genders. That almost put me in.
To both the genders out there, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Are we gonna do a Christmas episode?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We should. Yeah, I don't want to say. I mean, we have. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
We've been wrapping up this podcast for half of the podcast.
That's every fucking podcast.
Is it really?
It's just two annoying white people fucking just stammering until hopefully somebody turns it off.
Well, people have to do the dishes. They have to fold their laundry. We're helping people.
Yeah, listen to this while you take a shit.
We're helping you take your shit together.
Come on, you could do it.
We're helping you go boom boom.
Don't push too hard.
Push really hard until your eyes bug out. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been Welcome to Jackass with Vera and Ember. Next time it'll be Welcome to Jackass with Ember and Vera because
we're both very polite.
the worst. All right. See you later.
Bye.
I'm from Britain. Is it done?